That was my biggest fear, was that he was going to miss it, and he very nearly did. Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to do a video on my labour story, which was quite traumatic. So a little warning, if you're about to give birth in the next couple of weeks, maybe even a month, then please do not watch this video. So let's start from the beginning. When I was around 2 days overdue, I'd noticed some reduced movements, and because I had told them about this twice, I was advised to go in and get induced. That was Tuesday the 18th and he was due Wednesday the 12th of October. Tuesday the 18th came, I went in at 2 o'clock and basically Arlen was not playing ball. He was wriggling about so much, he was super active that they could not get a clear heart trace. So for 5 hours I was hooked up to the machine. They hadn't even checked me. At 7:30, finally got the machine off and they inserted the first pessary. And at that point they discovered I was 1 centimetre dilated. So I was quite happy. I was like, oh well, at least I've started the ball rolling on my own, because I wasn't any centimetres dilated the few days before. So I thought, oh well, that's progress. That was at 7:30. And the night went on, nothing happened. They told me that they probably wouldn't check me after 6 hours because it was going to be through the night, and they'd rather I just got a good night's sleep to prepare me for tomorrow, but chances are nothing would happen the next day and I'd probably be in for the next 3 days. That scared me. I hate hospitals, I hate staying in hospitals, and I specifically hate staying away from my now husband. I just wasn't looking forward to that. I was tempted to have just left and went home. Thankfully I never, because all hell broke loose and I was in the right place, luckily. Husbands, boyfriends, partners are meant to leave at 10 o'clock in our hospitals. I managed to hide him, kept the curtains closed, and I hid him, and he managed to stay until about midnight. So throughout that I'd had something to eat, which was rubbish. I started feeling a wee bit uncomfortable, pain sort of symptoms. I clearly laboured in my back, because it was my back that was the most sore throughout. Even when I got Braxton Hicks, my back was always in agony, and the only thing that really took the edge off it was a hot water bottle. After about midnight he left and I was starting to get a bit stronger pains, to the point where I had to stop what I was doing, concentrate on the pain. Didn't really think it was actual contractions, I don't really know what I thought, but I remember thinking I don't want him to leave because he's going to miss the delivery. And I said to several of the midwives, please don't let him leave, he's going to miss it. No, Misha, you're not having this baby anytime soon. First babies don't come this quickly. Don't you worry. So I'd had paracetamol. I brought my own paracetamol in. So I took some of that as he was leaving. He left. I got a message to say that was him home. He'd got a McDonald's and my waters broke whilst I was watching Matilda, trying to get some sleep. Felt like, just like they say, it was a pop, and then I felt like I'd peed myself. So I called the midwife, said I think my waters are broke, and she was like, yep, go to the toilet. I was a bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the start and the end of my experience, the midwives weren't that great. The way I was treated, I don't know, I just wasn't that happy with it. The staff that dealt with me when I was ill were so amazing, and I can't thank them enough for how well they treated me, especially compared to how I was treated before and after. Yeah, so I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing. I was then thinking this baby's about to shoot out of me and that I had to get my partner in. They were like, nope, they didn't even check me, nothing. That was at about 1:30, 1:15, my waters broke. And then very quickly I started feeling a lot of pain. And I was in a ward with 3 other girls and they were all quiet. They were trying to sleep and I was in pain. And all I kept saying was, ah, wow, 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 wow. I'll cry my eyes out, scared to press the buzzer, because the midwives didn't seem to care that much that I was in pain before. When I was telling them that I was struggling, they just brought me heat pack. I buzzed the buzzer, they checked me and said, you're only 3 centimetres. You're still probably not going to have this baby tonight. So I was crying at that, the fact I was only 3 centimetres, and I said, please can I get my partner in? I'm really, really scared. And the response I got was, if he comes in, he's going to have to wait outside. Thinking, well, he'll probably just moan if he's sitting outside on a bench. Just leave it, don't call him. 20 minutes later, I was in even more pain. It was constant. I couldn't shift the pain. I was stressing out. I felt sick. I was panicking. I was really panicking. I was scared. and I kept holding off pressing the buzzer because I was scared to ask the midwife for help after the way I'd been treated before, thinking that they just thought I was a silly little girl exaggerating the pain, but I was in pain. She came in and she was like, right, let me check you. And I was like, you can't touch me, I'm too sore, you cannot touch me. But she checked me and she said, did you tell your partner to come in? And I went, no, she shouldn't get him in now. You're 8 centimetres. And that was me. I was like, what? I just started screaming. And I was like, oh my God, he's gonna miss it. He's gonna miss it. So I'm phoning him. I don't know why they didn't try and phone him, but I phoned him whilst I'm getting rushed off down the corridors, screaming in pain, because the pain was just unbearable. I'm on the phone saying, you come on, quick, quick, quick. It was 2 in the morning. Luckily they hadn't fallen asleep. It was my mum that took him home, so luckily they hadn't fallen asleep. He had to phone my mum, tell her to come and get him. It was 2 in the morning, no traffic, and he managed to just get straight in. I got put into the labour ward. They told me that the heart rate had dropped and that I was using forceps. Bearing in mind I had no pain relief apart from paracetamol. They said that the baby's heart rate had dropped really low and that I was going to have to start delivering this baby really quickly. And I was like, I can't, my partner's not here, I can't do this, I told you he was going to miss it. 7 minutes before he was born, he ran in the door. I nearly passed out himself. I think from all the adrenaline and the panic, he nearly passed out. And instead of focusing on the baby, I'm worrying about him, saying, is he okay, is he okay? No, Misha, focus, you're going to need to push. It was traumatic. Luckily he made it though. I got an episiotomy, they put the forceps in and I had to push, and I don't think they actually used the forceps too much, because I remember seeing like on One Born Every Minute people are like yanking those things. Just didn't seem like they were doing it that much. She said that I was doing most of it on my own, which was good. I've since found out that apparently he turned the very last minute and came out back to back. It was all up in the air for me. I don't know what was going on with my body. He came out, got placed on my chest, he was fine, and we found out he was a boy. My partner got to tell me what we'd had, but I just knew as soon as he came out, I knew when they said it's that, I was like, oh, it's a boy, I've got a boy. And I was so excited to see him, and I just looked at his little face and he had a full head of dark hair. He looked like me. I just seen my little face in him. I just felt so much love. After that, it was a wee bit hazy, and that lasted a couple of minutes. Oh, there's a wasp outside the window. I swear there's a nest here because I always get wasps outside this window. Ooh, they give me the creeps. After he was born, I didn't stop bleeding. Apart from the really traumatic labour, which lasted 1 hour 35 minutes in total from start to finish, I started losing a lot of blood. They thought I'd had a 3rd degree tear because on top of the episiotomy I then tore, and I also tore in several other places. So they thought I'd had a 3rd degree tear, and they were telling me that it was too difficult for them to stitch me while I was awake, so that I would need to go and get a general anaesthetic and get stitched up. I'm a big scaredy cat. I'm petrified to get put to sleep. I think that I'm going to die. I need to say my goodbyes to everyone. And so I said, of course, I was like, let me say goodbye to my partner, let me say goodbye to my baby, can I please give him a kiss goodbye, I'm scared I die. And they were like, Misha, he's already gone. Because of my blood loss, I'd actually passed out, and I hadn't realised that my partner and baby had been taken out to another room. Yeah, I got wheeled away, and I'm just like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And the anaesthetist was starting to get a little bit annoyed at me, and he was like, Misha, you're not going to die. And I was like, I know, but I'm just really scared. The lovely nurse held my hand. She was great. 12 hours later, I wake up and I'm in intensive care. But yeah, up you, Mr. Anaesthetist guy. I tested you that time. What had happened was, when they took me through to theatre, they stitched me up and realised that I was still bleeding. My uterus hadn't contracted to stop the bleeding. When you have a baby, once the placentas came out, your uterus is meant to contract and clamp down and stop the bleeding. Mine didn't work. So you get a JAG after you have a baby if that's not working. But the JAGs weren't working. I think I can't remember, but I'm sure it was about 7 or 8 of them all in one leg. The bruise I had on my leg, honestly, it was so swollen and bruised. They finally got that to clamp down by inserting packs and balloons. But by this point I had lost so much blood that I'd then lost all the clotting factors. So I'd lost in total 8.3 litres of blood, which is more than what my body carries. So the blood that they were replacing was just coming straight back out of me, and I feel awful that I've wasted people's blood because you don't realise how important it is until you need the blood yourself. I'm grateful. Get a wee bit emotional. Soz. please donate blood if you can. I no longer can because I've had transfusion, so anyone who can, please do it because you really do save people's lives. Ooh. So I'd lost 8.3 litres of blood, which is a lot. I ended up getting 16 bags of blood and everything else. It was like platelets, plasma, I don't know, all these other things that I don't know the names of, don't really know what they do, but I know it's the clotting factors. Totaled it up to over 30 bags of whatever. I had a central line, I think it's called, in my neck, which I've now got a scar left from. I had lines in my wrist, which I've got scars from, which I actually hate. They're just little dots, but I really hate them. It's just a reminder of everything that happened, but in a way it should really be a reminder that I'm still here, I'm still alive. I've got such an amazing baby boy and I should just be so grateful to just be alive. They really annoy me. Hopefully they'll fade one day. I woke up in intensive care with my mum and my partner hovering over me saying, do you know what happened to you? I'm like, I had a baby. He said to me, do you know what you had? And I'm like, a boy? And I totally had not grasped. I think I was still off my face, basically. I did not know at all what had happened, apart from the fact that my baby was not there and I wanted my baby. So he managed to come down and I was told that I was to stay in intensive care, but if I was staying in intensive care I wouldn't get to keep my baby with me. He would get put in a special care unit himself. I was devastated because I really wanted to breastfeed. I wanted my baby with me, and luckily enough I had really nice doctors who put me into the high dependency unit where I was getting 24-hour care. So I was only in intensive care for the day, and then I got moved to high dependency with Arlen. And they were really great. They got a midwife down to try to show me how to breastfeed, although because obviously I was just a new mum and milk doesn't come in that quickly anyway, but I was delayed because of all my problems for the blood loss and everything else. It was difficult, but I was trying, you know, God loves a trier. In high dependency, I was getting 24-hour care. I could barely move, I couldn't sit myself up. I was so swollen. I had bruises all up my arms from the amount of times I've had my blood pressure taken. I was humongous. It was not a good look at all. But again, I was alive. I was really low on oxygen. I was in high dependency for 5 days, and it wasn't until the last day that my oxygen levels came up. It's funny because I feel like I was there for so long because I was getting 24-hour care and I wasn't sleeping very well. All these days just rolled into one, so I'm not really sure how long it took me to sit up for the first time or stand up for the first time, but I do know from pictures, from seeing pictures, that I did stand up on the 21st. That wasp back. I think I sat on a chair for the first time on the 20th or the 21st, which was either the day after or 2 days after I gave birth. It was hard going. I was out of breath. I could barely move, honestly, and I had to sit on a ring because I was so bad downstairs. I had several doctors coming in. One time I woke up and I had 5 doctors standing around my bed wanting to look at my bits, which were so swollen and black, blue, purple, you name it, it was that colour. Someone said I had a bruise the size and the colour of an aubergine. I'm sure you can imagine. One person told me I looked like I'd been kicked by a horse, which is always great. I have seen a picture and yeah, it was bad, really bad. So that aside, I was in high dependency for 5 days and then I got moved to the regular ward, which was awful, and I just wanted out of hospital that second. Obviously I know they've got other women to look after, but when someone comes in with problems like I did, they should really be looking at their notes for one, realising the extent of how ill I was, and if they couldn't do things like get me water when I needed it, which I needed, they should have told my partner where to go for it, but they wouldn't even tell him where to go and get water. It was awful, and again, I know they have other women to look after, but yeah, I don't know. The worst people that were there were the auxiliary nurses. One of them came in, shouted at me for my partner helping me eat when I was feeding Arlen, saying that he wasn't allowed to do that, and that I'm going to have to learn to do things on my own because he's going to be going back to work. Then the next day she told me I had to get up and go for dinner, which I had a catheter in for a week. And I said to her, well, I've got a catheter in, I don't know, like, how do I walk to a dining room? And she said, well, just clip it to your underwear. And I was like, alright, well, it's full, how do I empty it? Have they not shown you that? Come on, get up out of bed and I'll show you how to do it. So bearing in mind, I could still barely walk. I was taking about 1 step an hour, honestly, it was so bad. I was still so ill, so out of breath, sore, really sore, and I could barely get up off the bed on my own, never mind walking down a corridor to get some food. She got me up out of bed, grabbed my pants for me, started yanking them up my legs, which they didn't fit because I was still so swollen, and that was me getting pants that were 2 sizes bigger. They still didn't fit, and she caught a glimpse of my downstairs, and the look on her face said it all. She had no idea what had happened to me. She had no idea how bad I was, and she was shocked. Oh, I don't think they realise how bad you are. I'm like, oh really? Well, maybe people should be reading their notes. It was just awful. I just wanted to get out. I became really, really depressed and just wanted to go home. The hours had changed for my partner being able to come as well. From high dependency, he could stay really as long as he wanted, to then having limited time. It was just tough. I couldn't even get up out of bed to pick up Arlen to go back into bed. I had to get help. It was just awful. But because they were so horrible to me, I made myself do it, and I did it probably too quick, and I shouldn't probably have left hospital when I did, but I needed out of there. So I got out of hospital after a week. I came home and I'm top floor in a flat, and I just cried and cried and cried all the way home, all the way up the stairs, and then I walked in the door and I cried some more. I felt so uncomfortable, I felt so sick all the time. It was awful. So fast forward that bit. The midwives were coming up at the same time as the health visitors, because midwives are meant to come within the first week to 10 days and then it goes on to health visitors. But because I was delayed, I still had the midwife coming out checking on me. About a week and a half later, I was getting my wound checked, and the midwife had told me that there was a gape in the wound. Didn't think anything of it, but I did notice I started getting in more pain. That was the Friday, or that was the Thursday or the Friday, and by the Saturday, the 5th of November, so my brother had came down from Aberdeen with his kids and wife to meet him for the first time, and we'd gone into town for dinner, and for some reason I just felt awful. The feeling I had, I was panicking, I had really bad anxiety, but I felt sick and I was so sore. I ended up having to phone up NHS 24/7 and having to go back into the hospital. Luckily they let me out because I was still breastfeeding. The wound had broken down. The stitches, I think it's to do with how swollen I was. My stitches dissolved too quickly and my wound broke down, and it was quite deep. When you get an episiotomy, you get cut off to the side, or it's this side. The top bit healed, if you can imagine the bits here. This bit healed and all this opened up. So I had a hole from the outside in. It was bad. It got worse. And the reason why I was feeling so ill was because I had actually developed an infection. That was just the first of many. I got antibiotics and I got sent my way and I started feeling great. My birthday is the 18th of November, so a couple of weeks later, a week and a half later, started feeling really sick again. Wound was infected again, and I needed more antibiotics. So my birthday last year was awful. I spent the day in the bathroom being sick, feeling sick, shivering. I felt like I had a flu, which were symptoms of the specific infection I had, which I can't remember the name of because it's a big long name. So I think I had another 2 infections after that, and I was going in for regular weekly or 2 weekly appointments to see my consultant who delivered Arlen. No, she didn't deliver Arlen, who dealt with me after I gave birth. She dealt with me after everything had happened, and she was the one who stopped the bleeding. And so I was going in to see her regularly. I had a wound specialist coming to see me. I'd also been scheduled to see a psychologist. I'll speak about it in another video because I'm still seeing her now. She's been great. So that is my labour story. It was pretty scary, especially when my pregnancy was so amazing, and then all hell broke loose. Great. So if you have any more questions that you want to ask me about this, I'm pretty open about it. I have no shame in my game anymore. I hope I've got all the information that I needed to get in. I kind of ramble. I hope you liked this video, and I hope I've not scared anyone or put anyone off having a baby, because I would do it in a second. When I woke up, the first thing I asked was, can I still have kids and when can I have them? Unfortunately, I'm now classed as high risk, and they've suggested that I should maybe get a section next time, although a natural delivery is not impossible. I just think maybe it's best for all of us, especially already having a baby, we just don't want to take any risks, because although what happened to me is an extremely rare thing, it might happen again. However, I will say, since my whole delivery, I have discovered that a lot of women go through traumatic deliveries and it's just not spoken about. So I think maybe it's about time people speak about it, because it is a scary thing. Whether it's normal or not normal, it's scary. Women are amazing. If you liked what you saw, then please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Hi! Can I just say thank God Alexa didn't show up today?